And let's hope we can get the next one in before we're interrupted again by more trains. Massive game of football on Sunday at 4:30 as Manchester United take on Tottenham. Crookie, Eurocross United boss Erik ten Hag's press conference. What did he have to say?
Yeah, I was. I'm at the game for talkSPORT on Sunday, dreading it as ever, watching Manchester United this season. But Erik ten Hag was asked about Anthony Martial, of course, hasn't been playing in recent weeks.
I can explain. I think it's very simple. I think his off-field issues stops him playing because. So I don't agree. I think first year was okay, and I think pre-season was very okay. First 4 games were very good. Moment off, he was out, and then he came back. He didn't deliver the performance we should expect from him, and he can do so much better. And yeah, if you mention Ajax, also I look back there. So his effectiveness, so his end product was very high there. Also Champions League, very high. So I'm sure he's capable of doing this.
There you go, Erik ten Hag there ahead of Manchester United against Spurs. A fascinating situation in some ways with Anthony Martial, because I think Manchester United absolutely desperate to get him off the wage bill this month. He looks like he's going to sit on his contract and then take his chances as a free agent in the summer. I mean, Andy, you're a United fan. How do you look back at Anthony Martial's Old Trafford career?
Yeah, not a successful one. He's been there, I think, 8 years. I don't have it in front of me. He scored round about 60-something goals. I just think because he came with a massive price tag and he was a teenager, what was it, £50 million most expensive teenager in the world, we expected a lot more, and he's not delivered, I think it's fair to say, for a striker. But, you know, he's not played a lot of games. He's certainly not started a lot of games in recent years for Man United, but I think it's best for him and Manchester United if they do part ways. I was just looking at some stats on the screen about Antony actually this season. 16 games, no assists and no goals. I mean, talk about, you know... Apart from that, talking about, you know, not necessarily putting your life on the line, but if you're a manager and you've managed to talk the board into parting with close to £90 million and that turns up, I mean, he's got to start producing the goods soon, right? Hasn't he? Otherwise, he could be leaving Old Trafford soon as well.
Well, they're not going to get back the money they paid for him if he was to leave. And listen, I wanted to give Antony the benefit of the doubt. I think sometimes when players come from the Eredivisie, South American players in particular, can take time to settle in the Premier League, but he's played enough football now. And it's harsh to say, but I think he's going backwards. He's not improving. He's getting worse.
Andy, what do you think? Because you said that...
He'll come good.
You said he'd come good.
Yeah, I didn't say what club. It was another train coming through. I think it'll be a fascinating game, this one, because the Spurs of course, are without quite a few key players because of AFCON. And Manchester United, they've got pace out wide. And if Spurs play with that high line, I think we could see quite a lot of goals.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I've in my predictions, I've gone for United to win 2-1, but I've got no real confidence. And of course, Timo Werner is probably going to make his Tottenham debut. He was a player that United inquired about. So the headlines are written, aren't they, for him to pitch up at Old Trafford and have a positive impact on the game.
What will the score be, Crookie?
I've gone 2-1 United, but as I say, no real belief in that.
Okay, Bennett, what are you going? No real belief. What are you going for, Bennett?
2-1 Spurs.
Well, you actually think that, do you?
Yeah,
You're saying it?
Yeah, no, I really think 2-0.
4-1 Man United. What's going to happen in that one? Let's move on to Newcastle versus Man City. That's tomorrow at 5:30. What has Magpies boss Eddie Howe had to say ahead of that one, Crookie?
Well, it was a really interesting press conference actually this morning because, of course, it emerged yesterday, a story we covered last week actually, in the transfer notebook, that Newcastle may have to sell one of their big stars, an Isak or a Botman or a Guimaraes, in the summer to balance the books. Their chief executive has admitted that is a possibility. Eddie Howe was asked about getting some help from other clubs in the Premier League in terms of loan players, and he doesn't think that other clubs are particularly willing to help Newcastle out at this moment in time.
I think there's a lot of value in the loan market. Whether it's value that we can utilise is something totally different. I'm not sure there's many clubs out there that are willing to help us currently. And to agree a loan deal, you need the club to agree to that deal. So I think we're in that moment where I'm not sure we have many friends in the market.
Not many friends in the market, says Eddie Howe. And I do wonder, that's a sort of jibe at Manchester City, because we know that Calvin Phillips is available. We know that he's keen to go to Newcastle and that they'd like to sign him. But at the moment, City's loan fee is proving prohibitive for Newcastle. And I think they want an obligation to buy as well. So maybe there was a hidden message to Manchester City there.
Crookie, do you think he's under pressure? And I'm not talking about from the fans, because I think they're very much behind him. But do you think from the board he's under pressure?
Well, it's interesting because I heard Kieran Dyer speaking with you guys earlier this week, and he said that if Eddie Howe doesn't take Newcastle into the Champions League, he could well lose his job. I think that'd be very harsh because I think they probably overachieved last season, got into the top 4, reached that League Cup final. The fans are still behind him, as you say. I think the dressing room is still behind him. I think the UK-based board members are behind him, but you never know what Saudi Arabia may do. And obviously they've got ambitions to play regularly in the Champions League. So I think if they don't get there and they continue to drop down the table, maybe the Saudis might have ideas to go in a different direction, but I think that'd be really unfair.
Go on, prediction for that. Oh, there's so many trains going through that station. Newcastle against Man City tomorrow at 5:30. What was the score be, Cookie?
I've gone Newcastle 0, Man City 2.
Wow, away win, convincing.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Cookie there. I'm gonna go 2-0 as well.
Okay. Just finally, over to the Championship. Southampton host Sheffield Wednesday at 3:00 tomorrow afternoon. What's the latest regarding Saints striker Che Adams?
Yeah, I'm at this game alongside Ray Parlour. Saints 18 unbeaten in all competitions, but Sheffield Wednesday, despite the fact they're in the relegation zone, are improving. Che Adams has got interest from the Premier League, Wolves, Crystal Palace, potentially Everton as well. And my understanding is that if they get a bid of $6 million, Southampton, they will sell the Scotland international.
Okay. Cookie, always a pleasure. Have you not got a coat on? It's freezing out. You don't look like you just got a jacket on.
I forgot my coat. Schoolboy error.
Are you serious?
I am serious, yeah. So, and it is freezing, you're right.
And you're outside tonight, right?
Yes. So that's going to be fun.
Okay, I'm sure the club will lend you one, won't they? I'm sure
Can't
they
wear
will.
other clubs' colours, can you?
I'm sure. Well, I'd rather that than free to death. Quickie, always a pleasure. Enjoy tonight. Have a great weekend. We'll speak to you on next week's show.
Cheers, guys. See you
Thanks,
later.
pal. That was today's Ready, Steady, Cook.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.